jumping around is all about.
Jerry Garrett is on pit road with Will Cagle.
What took you out of the race, Will?
Something broke in the rear end. I don't know what it was, but it just went all of a sudden.
You had a good chance of moving up there and challenging for the lead, it looked like.
Yeah, we were going pretty good, but we had a pretty bad front end push, but that's racing.
One of the guys that's real popular with the fans, we'll hate to see him retire.
Cagle will take an administrative position with Drivers Independent Racetracks, the sanctioning body for this event. He only saw this car from the cockpit as late as Friday afternoon. Doug Wolfgang, the sprint car driver, was scheduled to run the car and decided to concentrate on his sprinter instead.
And he had zero practice in it, Mike, before he got it into the program. Not even one lap.
Second and third place battle right here. Danny Johnson moving up to lap one of the slower cars, Chuck Akulis. Right with him, Billy Pouch, the pole sitter. Pouch can go the distance easily. McCready, well, we continue to wonder, but he continues to step out and try to increase his lead over the second place machine. McCready is now entering turn 2 as the second place car is entering turn number 1. And second place, boy, does Johnson have his hands full with Billy Pouch. 5 seconds, 5.1 seconds now from this man, Bob McCready, back to the race for second spot. Back behind them, third is Jack Johnson, or check that, fourth is Jack Johnson, and fifth, Tommy Corellis. There's Danny Johnson. He's the second place machine. Billy Pouch riding along with him. Pouch was right up on his bumper.
Yeah, Johnson seems to run a little bit lower. Pouch, you see, is slipping up. It appears as if he's got the Syracuse push. That's a real problem here for many of the competitors. They turn the wheel left when they go in the corner. Oh, and Brett Hearn is in the pits. Brett Hearn, this is an unscheduled stop. This is not in the plan.
He's coming in slow. Bobby Hearn, the crew chief, and the rest of that Olsen Eagle crew coming over the wall to have word with their driver, the defending champion of this event. And he is shaking his head in frustration.
They thought they were going to win the race, Mike.
They're looking over the right front. Two crew members set to push it off, but that's not to be. Hearn still shaking his head back and forth. And the crew, I don't think they know where to turn. Or indeed, if anything can be done.
Nothing being done with the car at all. This is terminal. Hearn has no chance now. It's over.
The defending winner of this race, sideline. Jerry Garrett is on his way to Brett Hearn. Meanwhile, up at the front of the field, Bob McCready continues to hold sway by 5 full seconds. And oh, there's a young fella who is simply heartbroken. Earlier today, he won the 320 modified race, was jubilant in victory lanes, 1 down, 1 to go, but it is not to be this afternoon.
Mike, he's washing his eyes. I wonder if he perhaps has calcium in them or dirt in them or something of that nature. The medical crew is there at this point. He also used a short muffler pipe, and I wonder if fumes have perhaps gotten to him. He is obviously feeling ill at the moment. He has got the safety crew with him.
Tom Wilson also on pit road. Let's go to Jerry Garrett in the pit of Brett Hearn.
Well, the problem right down here, Mike, is that Brett Hearn has been driving the whole race with a burning foot. They're pouring a bucket of water on his foot right now to try and cool it off. The intense heat from the car has just caused him excruciating pain the whole race, and that, not a mechanical problem, has taken him out of the race.
Perhaps that short exhaust pipe dumping out adjacent to the cockpit. Hearn having to fall out and literally limp away from Syracuse.
Ironically, he was worried about the steering wheel burning his hands. He had an aluminum steering wheel in the car, and he taped the aluminum steering wheel before the race because he was afraid it was going to get hot and burn him. And look, now his foot has put him out.
Those are fireproof shoes, but
they're covered with oil too.
Yes. Tough break for Hearn. Jack Johnson now trying to hold Tommy Corellis. This is the race for 4th spot, and it's been a good one. Corellis in 5th. Boy, would he love to win at Syracuse. They call him the Bandit up in Lebanon Valley. One evening, he took a scarf, used it as a bandana to keep the dirt away from his nose and mouth. They nicknamed him the Bandit, and he has been ever since. And he has stolen a lot of races up there.
Yeah, this is not one of the new cars in the field, Mike. This car is 2 years old.
What was the 6th place car is on pit road. Tom Wilson, car number 113, and that car's been in there for a lap or two. There's the right foot of Brett Hearn. Wilson had a 4th place finish here. Hearn, last year's winner, is out. Jerry Garrett is with him.
Brett, we wonder if we can get a word with you for a minute. You had a tough time in the race, Brett. How's your foot?
I had to pull in. I couldn't feel my foot anymore. There's a combination of an oil leak and a piece of exhaust system that goes through the cockpit. And we ran it all year, but it's just too hot. I was afraid I might, just black out or something. It just got to that point where I couldn't feel my foot anymore.
That's a hard way to go out of the race. You can stand being beat on the racetrack. You can stand being beat on pit road. You can stand it when something breaks. But the configuration of that automobile is what did in Brett Hearn today.
And that's a tough way to go out of a race. You're absolutely right, Mike. He is devastated, just really unhappy about this.
Everybody that comes here to Syracuse to try to win figures that they have to do so many trick things to their race car to make them better than everyone else's, and it appears that car in that one area was just a little too trick.
Yeah.
And it hurt Brett Hearn and knocked him out.
Well, McCready's car is working very, very well, and that is also a very trick car. He is sliding past traffic on the outside, apparently quite effortlessly.
Jack Johnson, boy, would he love to win this for the 3rd time and tie the record. The Gene DeWitt machine, and Gene is here on hand to see the car run. So is motor builder Jack Tant.
He was 2nd here last year. He's won this race in 2 different brands of car, a Troyer and a Kneisel, and this is the first time ever he's tried to run in this race with an Olsen Eagle. 3rd different brand he's trying with.
Having a good run here today. A little shy of the front spot. Here's the man that is leading, Bob McCready. The man who holds the record here, Gary Ballou, not here this weekend. Ballou has won this event 3 straight times, 76 through 78. Also won it in 1980 for 4 victories total.
McCready doing ever so well. He is just having no problems at all, at least no problems that are apparent, passing quite effortlessly on the outside, all of these lap cars. The starter has got a flag that tells these cars to go down if they are lapped.
Looking at Jack Johnson closing it up, trying to on McCready. There's a lap car he's going to have to deal with. That's Danny Johnson, in 27. Jack in the similarly painted number 12. Danny Johnson in 2nd. Billy Pouch is 3rd, the pole sitter. Jack Johnson is 4th. Tommy Corellis is 5th. Alan Johnson has climbed up to that 6th spot. Danny Johnson working well. That car does not seem to lean over in the corners as much as some of the cars that have been running up toward the front today.
It does appear to be a little bit more stiff.
There's McCready coming off the turn number 2, headed into the back straightaway past a sea of campers here at Syracuse, New York. His lead has been cut by a 2nd by this man, Danny Johnson, trying to run down McCready, who is 4 seconds ahead of Johnson.
Johnson's a good racer, Mike. He's finished 2nd, and he is in 2nd position in the overall points in 1986 for the dirt track modifieds.
Danny Johnson 5th here in 1982, his best finish in the 4 years he's been attempting to win the Miller 200 here at Syracuse. See the huge crowd that's gathered here, the biggest in all of dirt track stock car racing.
And a lot of them have been here for almost the entire week. Some have camped out in tents, others have brought campers. Every motel for about 50 or 60 miles is just full to capacity with race fans. This is the biggest week of the whole year for an awful lot of people, and not just the drivers, the fans too.
You walk through the grandstand and you see a lot of folks wearing the patches of the various tracks that make up the Drivers International Racetrack Series through the northeastern United States. But too, you see many folks who only attend this one dirt race a year, and their jackets carry the logos of Winston Cup cars and Indy cars, and no matter what type of racing they're a fan of, they know that Syracuse is the major event for these type of automobiles. And the main grandstand is packed to capacity. It was sold out as of a week ago. They closed the infield this morning. Hardly a space to be had for anybody left to get in and see this race.
There's Jack Johnson working traffic, trying to get through. Traffic is a real problem late in the race because many of the cars have slowed considerably, and the faster cars, the cars that are still capable of winning this race, have to slide by. Johnson now trying to get by Dave Lape on the inside. Lape holding him off. Leif's back bumper is well pushed in. Apparently somebody tried to get by beating on that back bumper.
Here's
and
trouble.
We've got a crash.
Out in the corner, Chuck Akulis in turn number 2. It comes to a rest against the rail. Looks like his right rear may be down. The bumper badly pushed in. Akulis' car without power comes to a halt, and we have the 7th caution of the day.
Yeah, left side frame rail is right down on the ground. He has got a suspension problem with that car, Mike. The whole left side is just dropped right down to the racetrack. Chuck Akulis, now that he's caused the yellow flag, he's going to go around nice and slowly and get into the pit area if he can.
This will be a break for Danny Johnson and the rest of the leaders. McCready's 4-second advantage will evaporate with this caution flag. Tom Mayberry makes a quick pit stop under the caution. And you're watching the man who may yet again lead the most laps here at Syracuse, as he did in 1985. While we're under caution, here's Jerry Garrett on pit road.
Well, Mike, Tom Mayberry's pit stop may be significant. He's one of the guys, if you remember, that pitted right about the same time that McCready did. He needed more fuel. That's why he stopped. What'll McCready do? We'll have to see.
There is McCready. No gas gauge in these cars.
No, there's none at all, and they are required by the rules of the Speedway to have only 22 gallons of fuel. They cannot have any more. That's all they're allowed to have, and many of the competitors work hard on trying to get the most of the fuel out of their car in through the engine. So although one of the competitors may have pulled out, there still may be plenty of gas in the 9 car.
Here's a look at Rick Jeffrey. He is a journeyman racer, competes just about all over the country. Running here at Syracuse. He is the 9th place car, Jeffrey, and has had a good afternoon here at Syracuse. He's one of the top runners on the ARCA Superspeedway circuit. He'll run pavement, he'll run dirt, he'll run just about anywhere and anything. His best finish here, 6th in 1983.
5 cars on pit road now, none of them in contention to win. Some of the competitors are taking this opportunity to work over their car, and hopefully they can get a little bit more speed and blow by a few of the other cars to try to get up further.
Well, beg to differ. Here's Alan Johnson in the pit lane, along with, there's the Dick Larkin car getting fuel late in the race. Alan Johnson was 9th when he came to pit road. There's Larkin. There's the 3J of Akulis that brought out the caution flag. And he's climbing out. Larkin wheels away right behind Alan Johnson. And also coming off the pit road, Don McGuinness, the car that did not qualify for this race but was voted in by the press. There's Rick Burgess coming off the pit road, and getting set to go racing is Bob McCready. Single file restarts after the halfway point. McCready takes him through 3 and comes sliding off 4. McCready, Danny Johnson, and the pole sitter Billy Pouch to battle it out over the last 27 laps here at Syracuse. 7 caution flags have marred the race and turned out some interesting strategy. Trouble in 2, a wheel over the fence in 1 car comes to rest. That is Mike McLaughlin. The man they call Magic Shoes has done most of his racing on asphalt the last 2 years, but he winds up backed into the fence, and a wheel went up over the fence, bounced off the roof of one of the fair buildings, the poultry building, scattered some feathers, and came to rest out in the parking lot.
There are 3 cars, Mike, that are virtually identically painted. This is one of them. One of them was involved in a crash earlier, and here is McLaughlin also crashed. Tough deal.
Mike McLaughlin against the fence. That's the Cliff Barkham car. And McLaughlin, I don't believe he's run another dirt race this year.
He is not. The last time he ran dirt was right here at Syracuse. He has really turned his attention to running pavement, where he has been very successful running pavement modifieds.
He drives the Sherry Cups car for Bill Carrazzo on the NASCAR circuit. His best finish, 10th here in 1980, although he's been a good qualifier at this racetrack. And not too many people were surprised to see him in the top 6, the first day qualifiers for this race, even after a year's layoff. There is Dick Larkin back in. That left rear tire won't hold air. He's been as high as the 9th place car, and every caution they have to pit him, put more air in the left rear. They're also making an adjustment inside the cockpit. Larkin not looking terribly pleased. He's got the helmet off now and the gloves.
That's it.
Next
Larkin's
will be the
done.
belts.
Yep,
and
he's
out.
done.
Well, the problem must be more serious than a flat tire. That can easily be changed.
Yeah, it can. Larkin's through. He's got terminal troubles.
So the track they call the Moody Mile, as it changes throughout the day, claims yet another victim. Larkin's car out of the event. Mike McLaughlin has climbed out of his car. He's okay after losing a wheel up and over the fence at turn 2 and into the hen house.
That's Larkin, sitting in the car, dejected. You see how dirty these men are when they get out of the cars. Their faces are all dirty. Their eyes are filled up with mud. It gets very hard to see here as this race wears on. There's a lot of calcium on the racetrack that's put there in order to keep the dirt down so that it isn't dusty, and that gets into your eyes, gets into your face. Larkin couldn't care less about what his eyes feel like right now, though. He would just rather be out there racing.
25 laps to go as the field comes past. The leader, heading up toward turn number 3, is Bob McCready. As the records come off and we're set to go back to green, there is McCready. Riding second is Danny Johnson. Third, Billy Pouch. In fourth is Jack Johnson. In fifth, Tommy Corellis. Running along in sixth, they get the green flag for the restart, is Charlie Rudolph. In seventh, C.D. Coville. And in eighth, Rick Jeffrey. Those cars are on the lead lap. One lap down are Kenny Johnson, along with Kevin Collins and Alan Johnson. That takes you through the top 10 as we have 24 laps to go. McCready takes him through 3, out of turn number 4 and back into the front stretch. Trouble up in 4, Corellis is in the wall. The 5th place car, Tommy Corellis, in the fence as the leader takes the caution. That is a heartbreaker. Corellis, a lot of people came to see him finally have a chance to win this race here today.
He was trying to effect a pass on the outside, Mike. He just got into the loose